Good evening and welcome to On the Tee Florida, a production of our newly launched Shipyard Sports Connection on this May 28th, 2026 in our Ice Pick Vodka On the Tee studios with a live studio. We actually have quite a few people for a steamy day down here at Treasure Island, and we're live from Sea Dogs Brewing Company, Treasure Island, on the intercoastal across from the Gulf of Mexico / America. First things first, I want to take care of business tonight in case my ADD kicks in, guys, and I forget. Take care of all of our great sponsors. Shipyard Brewing, Sea Dog Brewing, Treasure Island, OnePriceSwipes.com. If you've got a retail business or any business where you use credit cards, Joe and the gang will take good care of you. That's OnePriceSwipes.com. And then, of course, Body Armor. Coca-Cola Body Armor is the fuel that keeps me going each and every day. And then Coca-Cola Beverages. They just signed a new contract, 3-year contract, up the ante, and I'm looking forward to continuing working with Coca-Cola as well. And then the PGA Tour Superstores, they'll be here June 13th. I know you're excited. I think I'm going to take the whole gang, and we'll go up here on 66th Street. I'm getting a sneak preview tomorrow. You're probably busy all day. I'm getting a sneak preview tomorrow.
Wow, aren't you special?
You want to go? You probably can't. You're a busy man.
Wow.
That's Bill Butner, and he's in high demand over there at St. Pete Country Club, where he has been. There's Johnny Rager waving at you, where he has been for 23 years and 15 years on the PGA Tour. I'm going to give you your flowers a little bit later on in that respect. And then, of course, as I watched women's NCAA golf, I thought of you as well.
I thought you just thought of me. Because I'm
golfer. Because you're a female?
Yeah. I'm a no, and a talented golfer, that part.
Well, since she chimed in already, of course, she's our media maiden.
Media maiden.
She's our media maiden, John Rager.
Thank you.
And she is the director of memberships over at St. Pete Country Club. We love the relationship we have with these two. And then, of course, he's the man with the plan up there at St. Augustine Beach. I'll let him describe the pronunciation of his lengthy intro of his. I'll go ahead. Shipyard Seaside Studios on St. Augustine Beach. He is the chair of the Florida Sports Hall of Fame, a very esteemed position, and proud to know him as a good friend. 40-plus years in the golf industry. You name it, he's taught. He's owned courses. He's been a coach, and he is John Rager. And that's the team's all here with the exception of Champ.
Whoa, Champ. Where is Champ?
Champ's going to take a break most of the summer because he's got his little girls. They can't blame him.
Oh, yeah.
Totally
Hey, Mike, I want to chime in just real quickly. I'm the chair-elect. The wonderful Miss Keena Corey from Tallahassee, she is the chair, and we used to call it chairman, but she's the first female chairman, but the second female chairman we've
wait
had.
a minute. You're confusing me. There's a chair. What do you mean elect?
Well, here's what we used to do. We used to have a chairman, and then we had a president. Then we had the incoming chairman. So we changed everything because we have to keep up with the times. So Keena is the chair. I'm the chair-elect. So there you have it. So, but that doesn't mean that I have no responsibilities. I'm on the hook, babe, and we work really hard at the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. In fact, later on in the broadcast, we'll talk about the golf tournament. We have our 9th annual Celebrity Golf Classic coming up down to Port St. Lucie, where our museum is at the Mid-Florida Event Center. And we're going to be playing the golf tournament on the Dye course at PJ Golf Club, the home of the PGA of America as far as the golf course that we own. Now, we know the real home is out there in Frisco, Texas, and they got the big office complex, and they got all the courses at Frisco, and they're going to play all the major championships. But the PJ Golf Club is the first golf club that PJ golf professionals like myself and Bill Butner, that's our association. We own the course. So we're going to have the tournament there in Port St. Lucie, August 14th and 15th.
Fabulous. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. Of course, you're listening to the Shipyard Sports Connection Media Network. We put this deal together with Fred Forsley recently, and our flagship, we're now 96.7 FM back in terrestrial with Joe Bedro and the gang over there at RadioStPete.com and Florida Sports Streams, and then, of course, on our YouTube channel and our Instagram. Be sure you like us and subscribe. We got some great things that are going to be launched. We're going to We're going to be launching Fergs TV, expand on the Shipyard Sports Connection content. So a lot going on at the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection. But without further delay, why don't we bring we missed him. 2 weeks. I think we didn't see him for 3 weeks.
Wow.
An illness,
Wow.
a legitimate excuse, and then he realized how much he really liked his Thursday, so he just blew me off.
Well, I'm noticing that you and he are shaving the same way. I mean,
Oh yeah, I want to be as handsome as Adam Woodard, but
I'm noticing that.
that's not happened.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you give him his opening there, John Rager?
There we go. And I'm glad he's back because it's pretty cakey to
I'm
do these
ecstatic.
introductions. But with Adam, he's been on the show 78 times, so it's hard every week to come up with something new. But here we go, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Tee Florida, the 6:07 p.m. tee time. A man who asks harder questions, offers honest analysis, and is trusted by golf fans who want to challenge the status quo. He likes to dig through crates of old vinyl while enjoying an ice-cold Budweiser. His company is a multi-platform influencer from the world of golf. Let's welcome the editor of thefriedegg.com, Adam Woodard.
I have such short arms, Adam.
Applause.
I can't reach the applause button.
I love when I get the actual, in studio applause. There it is. There we go.
Is that my man?
There we go.
Adam Fernandez? That guy is a hell of a producer.
He's on it. He's on it.
All right, Adam. So how you been? Let's break down those Cleveland Cavaliers.
Can we not? Can we please not?
Wow.
For the love of, I know I've taken some shots at everybody on this program, so this is more than justified. But if you guys have any love for me in your heart, please don't make me talk about the Cleveland
Okay.
Cavaliers. Please don't make me talk about them.
I, honest to God, didn't really give a damn either way, but I felt so bad for you.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
And Alex Reba, who's a big part of my other world. I thought, and you guys are about the same age and have the same passion, and you're both very bright. I thought, those poor bastards.
Why did you bring the broom out tonight then?
That was you should have. That's a missed opportunity. Yeah, and also I love how he said if you have any love for me, build it into it. Nope, none whatsoever.
No.
Didn't waste a second to shake his head and say absolutely not. I do not. But no, yeah, things are terrible. What do you want to talk about? James Harden being the most inefficient player possible. Do you want to talk about that? You want to talk about how I don't know what you mean sweep when we clearly won 2 of those first 3 games on analytics.
Oh,
So there's no sweep there. There's none whatsoever. That's the biggest loser mentality I've ever heard. As soon as I heard that, get this guy out of here. I've liked Kenny when he's been here. I thought he was a great coach. When he says that, and when Harden says we were the better team, what were you watching that I should have been watching? Because I was irate when I heard that stuff, and now I get to relive. I was through it. I was past it. My Hurricanes here and the NHL are doing well. I've been using them to cope. And yet also the reason I missed a couple weeks ago was their first playoff loss when they got drubbed 5-2, or 6-2 rather. So I was in the barn for that one. So yeah, things sports-wise just not great for me now. But sure, have me on. Let's talk golf. Why not?
Well, hey,
Bring it
let's
on.
do that. Let's talk golf. I usually get to ask the first question, and then we'll let Bill and Mike and Ashley run wild because they
No,
have some
Bill's
great
not allowed
questions
anymore.
for you.
Bill's not allowed
Hey, but
anymore.
let
Bill's
me,
back on my list.
Oh, there you go.
Again.
So 2 things for our
Again,
viewers out there. There's 2 things for our viewers. One, it's not friedegg.com, it's thefriedegg.com. When I was doing a little show prep in there to dig into the annals of what's going on with Adam Woodard and your website and everything, you have to know if you do friedegg.com, you're going to end up at some software company in England, but the Fried Egg. And secondly, Mike, on the Tee Florida, I will be at Shinnecock Hills at the U.S. Open reporting for Mike Up on behalf of On the Tee Florida. So I'm going to be there giving a review. And I noticed on your website, thefriedegg.com, right there, front and center, you've got an architectural review about Shinnecock Hills.
Sure do.
Why don't you give us kind of a synopsis of Shinnecock Hills and what a special place it is, and it's the U.S. Open, and what's going on up there for the U.S. Open at this particular golf course?
I'm going to keep myself from swearing here, but it's been called the last true butt kicker major championship course in the U.S. by some people here on staff. Obviously U.S. Open going back there first time since 2018. That was a very interesting major. Obviously, we get the quote from Zach Johnson. We've lost the course. Anytime I can throw a dig at Zach on this program, I love to do it. What an awful interview that was. What a whiner he was that day. What a whiner he was that day. But no, it was
no more Cavalier hate. I apologize.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I see we're even now. See, that's all I had to do.
Mike Rickard, we want to talk golf.
But no, so it's a great championship course. I'm really excited. The U.S. Open's going back there. It's on, I think one thing that Andy Johnson talks about in our course profile is just not only the terrain for where it is on Long Island there, but the fact that it's kind of perched up a little bit compared to some of the other courses like National Golf Links, which is right next door. So the wind is constant and it is ever present and it can change directions on you. So if that place gets firm and fast for a U.S. Open, oh boy, we could have some fun on our hands, especially after, some of the different, different courses we've been to recently for majors. We're definitely going to see a unique test that week for it. But it's just a true 1 through 18, just a gem of a championship golf course. And it's going to be really exciting to watch. And yeah, that profile is obviously live now on thefriedegg.com, as you said, for our Fried Egg Golf Club members, but it will go public the week of the U.S. Open. So if you're looking for a reason to join our club, which you can get, various content, we have trips that we plan both around the U.S. and internationally, discounts on merch for our Fried Egg content there. Also launched today, we launched the Fried Egg Golf Club app for our Fried Egg Golf Club members. So you can, leave your own course reviews on places. There's a community of golfers. We're doing meetups around the country for you to get together and play with other, like-minded golf sickos. So it's worth it to go check it out at thefriedegg.com, see if becoming a member with us is something you want to do. But yeah, a lot of really interesting content there, and the Shinnecock profile being obviously A1 there for now. But plenty of other Shinnecock content coming. We've got 2 different videos that are being released as well. And every hole at Shinnecock Project we're going to roll out that we did similar to the Masters. So a lot of interesting stuff happening over at Fried Egg. And yeah, we're gearing up for the U.S. Open, and I'm excited for it. Can't wait.
Well, how do you get involved with this? How do you become a member of this?
Yeah, just go over and get thefriedegg.com. Go over and click the big old banner ad. You can't miss it where it says for members, and check it out, see what we offer, and join up there.
Hey, Mike, get ready to write a check for us all. We want to be members. Come on, Mike.
Go ahead, Ash.
I love it. No, hey, Adam, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a couple
of
weeks. But, I wanted to kind of maybe start out because, Scheffler's your guy and everything. But the Byron Nelson, Wyndham going 30 under and shooting a 60, beating Scotty Scheffler in Texas. It just feels like a fake sentence, doesn't it, almost?
It does, but thank God Laney Watkins and TPC Craig Ranch spent $25 million on that golf course to keep it from going from 31 under down to 30. $25 million for one shot. You'd love to see it.
That was such a good way to put that. That was such a nice way to put that.
But it was tough for Scotty
for one shot less.
Yeah. Tough for Scotty though, obviously. But what are you going to do when Wyndham goes out and shoots, on the weekend like that? If the course was gettable and Scotty didn't go get it, it's a bummer. It's a shame. As my guy, I love him, but you expect to see him contend in a lot of these Dallas courses like he usually does. He's done a great job, being a patron for these courses and giving back to them and continuing to show up and play in all the Dallas tournaments. But yeah, when you look at that leaderboard that was there on Saturday after 54 holes, you see Scotty sitting there. I think that the smart and the easy money is on him to win. But, good on Wyndham. Obviously, he's, had his own issues that he's had to deal with over these last few years. But those are issues that he's brought on himself. Let's be clear about that. Those are his own issues that he has brought on himself. It kind of annoys me when the broadcast talks about all the adversity he's had to go through. It's like, well, he's the one that's that's doing these temper tantrums and stuff. Like adversity early in his life with his mom, absolutely, that's one thing. Not talking about that, but as far as the last 2 years, it's like I don't know. It's he's just he's getting his act together, which is good. Hasn't had too many outbursts. I know people are still pretty upset with how he acted at Oakmont last year, and rightfully so, and kind of the way he talked about it and handled it. But look, like the Nike ad famously says, winning fixes and solves everything. So, he's playing well again. And, I must say it is good to see him, back, being in contention and playing well again. And if he can keep his, his actions in line, then I'm all for it. It's great to see Wyndham back. But, yeah, definitely a bummer for me being a Scotty stan for him to not get it done last weekend.
I ran into a kid out there at Cherry Hills with my son who he knew, and Wyndham went to the same school as Christian McCaffrey, and he didn't have anything kind to say about Wyndham. In fact, Wyndham had told Christian McCaffrey, and he was serious, that he was a much better athlete than Christian McCaffrey. That was
That's
not
interesting.
Wyndham's mouth.
He might have been. Hey, back then he might have been. Maybe that's what Christian McCaffrey needed to become the the All-Pro running back he is now. Maybe Wyndham made Christian McCaffrey because he hit him with that truth bomb way back in the day in high school. Yeah.
It's really ridiculous. There's only one golfer in the world that can maybe say that to anybody, maybe Tiger Woods or something. But it's really ridiculous for a golfer to tell a football player, especially like Christian McCaffrey, that he's a better athlete. Yes, I got that.
Add John Daly to that list. But yeah, Big John and Tiger, the only two. Yeah.
I absolutely would. I've seen John Daly on many a social clip out there kick a football. Now, Mark Mosley style, straight on, at one of the Champion Tours events, a little cocktail party out there. John doesn't wear shoes anyway, and he kicked like a 40-yard field goal straight on with with a beverage in his hand right through the uprights. So, yeah, John Daly, I'll include in that list.
He's like Bartolo Colon. You can't judge these athletes' books by like covers, these guys are different.
I was going with Craig Stadler. I mean, that's my man. I've never seen anybody
that's fair.
cook as
that's
well
a good one
and
too.
eat as well as anybody. I mean, he's the best at that.
That's a good
Bill,
one.
have you played golf with Craig Stadler out there on the tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's his guy.
Tell
right
us
there.
about that. My goodness, the walrus.
The walrus. I mean, there's many sides to the walrus. His belt size really kind of didn't hold it all in. So he was special. He was just one of the guys that was happy when he was playing well, and shall we say, not happy when when he I remember at the Hawaii Open, we're flying back to the mainland, and he had just three-putted his way to second place. And obviously the friendly flight attendant came up to him and said, "Mr. Stadler, how was your day today?" And that was the wrong question. He let it be known.
Well, I remember Peter Jacobson, who was on our show back in the fall, right, during the Ryder Cup. He would do these imitations of Payments Tour Pros, and with the walrus, he would take like a whole bucket of balls and stuff it down his shirt and be out there and walking like the walrus imitation. Just what a great impersonator was. But most people watching the show right now, they have no idea what we're talking about. But hey, you may want to go get your AI or Google this, because he's probably one of the great characters of the game of all time.
No doubt.
Hey, Adam, we it's been a while since we talked to you. We didn't even talk about the PGA Championship. Why don't you give our audience a little analysis of your perception of the PGA Championship this year?
I thought Aronimink ruled, and I know a lot of people didn't like some of the setup stuff, and people had their issues, but I had so much fun 4 days in a row watching golf. And like that sometimes doesn't really happen at major championships, and it can get a little sleepy in the mornings at times. But I thought it was a great setup, and it was interesting. Guys in the early week, everyone's saying, I don't know, this place could be gettable, Kerry Haigh hears that and says, "All right, let's put some of these pins in some really tricky spots. Let's see what you got." And I thought, the reaction from a lot of the guys was pretty predictable. They don't like to be challenged and kicked in the teeth a little bit. And, when you take scoring opportunities away from them, they get pretty frustrated. And that frustration is shown on the golf course. And we saw that. I think it's okay to do this every once in a while. And I think this is something that the PGA Championship can do and lean into. The one thing we always talk about with the PGA Championship is what identity does it have, right? People will say it's got, the most challenging or the hardest, strongest field in golf, however you want to put it. But you know what you're getting from the Masters, you know what you're getting from an Open Championship, and you know we're getting from the U.S. Open. But the PGA, it changes. Sometimes you get a great venue, or like we saw with Aronimink. Sometimes you get a Valhalla, right? And a lot of that depends on course setup and where they go. But the PGA of America can do something really cool and interesting and go back to a lot of these classic courses that have maybe fallen out of the U.S. Open, Rhoda, and go back to some of these places that are starved for golf. Go to a place like Philly where you don't have any championships. Go somewhere like Chicago if you can, right? That another place starved for professional golf that has a deep, golf history there. PGA Championship has a lot of different things that can do, and I think that'd be a good way to add some identity. But for people who didn't like the setup and thought it was maybe a little gimmicky, okay, there, I can understand that. if you think that, some great shots weren't rewarded and it was a lot of just, hacking out of the thick stuff and then hitting wedges on and predictable 20 putts, that's fine. That's interesting. I like to see guys get challenged every once in a while, right? Just having an automatic 2-putt from 30 feet is an interesting for me to see. Watching these guys try and handle these greens, missing in the right chances, seeing the creativity you had to have around these greens. I thought that was exciting as hell to watch. And not knowing who could go out and get it or who it was going to be. I think it was, damn near 20-some people within 4 or 5 shots in that final round. Like, it was pure chaos. You can't do it every year, but every once in a while, I think weekends like that can be really fun. And it's one of those major championships I'm not going to forget, right? You might not remember things in that. I'm never going to forget that week in Aronimink, just from the chaos that was there, all the different people who were involved. 13 different people had a share of the lead on Saturday. That's just crazy that have that much volatility and movement on the leaderboard. But it was exciting to watch. It's tough to replicate that every year, especially with a May championship. It really, shrinks where you can take it around the U.S. to have a true major championship test that early in the season. But I thought it was a great weekend, and it was really exciting to watch.
Hey, Adam, I want to jump in with a question real quick for you, and then I'll get out of the way. The ball rollback. The ball rollback. There is a deal out there now that Cam Young, I understand, played with the limited distance ball all this year, and I guess that now it's finally somewhere going to come to the head. And I don't know. I know the PGA of America doesn't want to do that. I'm not sure what the Masters wants to do. So it's like the golf's 5 families out there trying to figure out what to do. Where are we on that? And, because some of the tour pros are coming out saying, oh, we don't want to do that. So what do you think? What's going on with, and for our viewers out there, just to preface this is where they're going to limit, they call it bifurcation, where you go to the store at PJ Superstore, one of our new sponsors, you go buy a dozen Pro V1s. Basically, they're the same as the Tour Pros are playing. I mean, the Tour Pros, they might be tweaked a little bit more for the Tour Pros, but the equipment is still very same. It's not like going to the car dealer and buying a NASCAR. You can't buy the same car, but it's very same. But now you're talking about a ball and that's different, that's going to be lower distance for the Tour Pros. What's your opinion on all that? And we might be totally mistaken that, that the average golfer doesn't even care because they can buy whatever they want because they're going to still struggle with the game like the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a major ongoing war that's going on right now between the equipment manufacturing companies, and then, obviously the USGA and the R&A are in lockstep that they think that the golf ball should be rolled back. It's and the main issues being the fact that the game is so out of balance and out of scale right now. It's become that the sweet spots on drivers are incredibly big. Like, you have to try really hard to miss, and when you do miss, you miss big. But the fact that we've taken the skill out of the professional game, I think, is a problem. The fact that golf courses are having to expand at a crazy rate to keep up with this distance is a problem. Like we talked about earlier with some of those courses being out of the U.S. Open Rota, because the bunkers that are there in fairways guys don't even see them anymore. They're flying them by 40, 50, 60 some yards at times and stuff. And so the fact that equipment has gotten so far out of scale with the game and the board in which the game is played on is a problem. That brings in sustainability. This isn't just a problem for now. This is a problem looking down the line 20 or 30 years. And, the messaging that's being sent out is that this is going to shrink the game. And for a lot of, amateur players, frankly, most amateur players aren't going to be able to tell the difference when this happens, right? It's going to happen at the top level, and it's going to happen at the top of the top level. So the distance, they're probably going to be 15 or so yards. Call it what you will. We're never actually going to know until we see it in practice. They've already said that it could get bumped back to even 2030 at this point. But the fact that, Fred Ridley, chairman of Augusta National, came out and was very much in favor of the rollback, was in favor of what the USGA and R&A is doing. He came out and said that he's got no time for a debate anymore. Why is this even a debate? Basically is not quoted what he said, but pretty darn close. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Players obviously don't want it. They like having big sweet spots and balls that go really far because it makes scoring easier, and it takes, more long irons out of their hands and puts more wedges in their hands. Easier to score, easier to win tournaments, more money for them. It's pretty simple. They're also in the pockets of a lot of these equipment manufacturers. So, they're going to be going out and saying what they want to say. Not going to name any companies, by name, but I think you can guess, one of the most used balls on tour. They're doing a lot of a lot of efforting for this. There's a lot of lobbying that's happening, but be interesting to see what happens. Most of us here at the Fried Egg are pretty much in favor for it for the reasons based on the fact that the game is out of scale and sustainability. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion depending on what it is, and it just seems like we keep kicking the can down the line. And this is something that ideally should have been, taken care of or addressed 20, maybe even 30 years ago. Should have started addressing this problem or this potential concern, but either governing bodies weren't forthright to see it there at time, or they couldn't look far enough in the distance. Technology wasn't there to see that far in the distance. But interesting to see what happens. But it's not looking good for those of us that want to see the game scaled back a little bit, because the powers that be on the professional side seem to be pretty heavily in favor of not rolling anything back or changing anything. So it's a real, we'll wait and see what happens.
You're watching On the Tee Florida. We're live from Sea Dogs, and of course, brought to you by our good friends at Ice Pick Vodka. Bill Butner, what's your opinion on it? You played on the PGA Tour. Do they need to roll the ball back?
They have to. They have to save the golf courses that are there. They have to save. Not everybody can buy their neighborhood out and make holes 510 yards to be a par 4. You have to move, like Adam was saying. You got to move those bunkers where they're in play. And the only way to do that is move the tees back or move the bunkers forward, which is an astronomical cost either way. But I was going to say, with Aronimik, going back to Aronimik, you did see some live players. Not necessarily Bryson. Bryson didn't quite show up, but you did see some live players there. So that was refreshing in my mind to see that the world of golf was there.
And a lot of those guys were great putters historically too, and that's what you had to see, right? A guy like Cam Smith finally showed up on a leaderboard again, and it was great until he kind of, ejected and left the scene, exited stage left on Sunday. But it was great to see him play meaningful golf into a weekend again, something he hasn't done in a long time. But Bill, I got a question for you if I can ask. Obviously, the ball being rolled back has been a big discussion. Would you rather see changes to ball technology or maybe change driver heads, either shrink driver heads and make those less forgiving? Does it matter which one to you, or which one do you think is more impactful?
I think the ball is the deal. The ball is everything. I think when you can take the ball out of the air, when you can make Cayman golf balls that don't go 150 yards, you can make golf balls that max out at 300, 290.
Yeah.
Pick a number. It's not that hard. Obviously, you're going to have lawsuits left and right from manufacturers, but hey, so be it.
Yeah.
Does anybody recognize the hacks, Ashley? You think anybody recognizes the hacks in this discussion?
No, not at all. No, but you know what? Even honestly, talking about equipment, and I've made a lot of changes recently on some of my own clubs.
Here we go.
No.
All right, here we go.
That's not what I'm saying. No, but it does make it. The equipment makes a huge difference. So for a player like myself,
not in wine.
Well, no, but to get some distance by changing clubs. Think about a professional who's like right on point every time. It does make a huge difference. So
well, you know what? You probably have more performance if you didn't grab that wine glass as often in the 9 to 1.
It's all about the show. It's all about the show, Mike. That's what we do. It's performance.
Hey, Mike, we call that liquid tempo. The wine is liquid tempo.
Hey,
performance enhancers. Yeah.
Adam, real quickly, because we haven't seen you in the last few weeks, and I think one of our last conversations, we were talking about the Zurich, the team championship, Matt Fitzpatrick and Alex Fitzpatrick, and about the thing about the tour card, and then following up was the Cadillac, and then that performance by Alex, like his debut on the PGA Tour. What were your thoughts on that? You had to be laughing a little bit.
I stand by what I said. It is a gimmicky exemption. I'm pretty sure that day, if we run back the tape and hit play again, I'm pretty sure I said he would get there eventually. We would have probably needed the full season on the DP World Tour to get there. But I do still think it's a bit of a gimmicky exemption. But man, he made me eat my words real quick. Yeah. And I know Alex and his girlfriend Rachel Keene, who's also a professional golfer. I've gotten to know them pretty well over the last few years with talking to them and covering them at Wake Forest. So I've gotten to know them. So Alex might have seen that clip and might have might have had something to say about it. But no, it was great. Yeah, but as soon as I was watching this program, I was like, man, I just went so hard at how dumb of an exemption this was like 3 days ago, and now look at him Now look at him.
Exactly.
But hey, you know what? Hey, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, but I don't think I was. But it was very funny
Yeah.
and hand up. Like he has
Yeah.
proved that he was worthy to be there right now. But I
Yeah,
did still think
absolutely.
he was going to get there. But yeah, that's this program always coming back to bite me in the rear end all the time. I love
Oh,
it.
you know,
You know what? You weren't the only talking head who felt the same way about the exemption through that format. So
Strength in
Well,
numbers. Strength in
about our
numbers.
boy-
Yeah.
What about our boy Ben Griffith? I mean,
How about him?
How about him? I mean, he took that gimmicky exemption and did something with it.
He sure
Yeah, he
did.
did. Where'd he go to school at, Bill?
someplace in the Carolinas. I don't know.
Someplace up there.
Go Hills. Hey, so Charles Schwab coming up this week, and so
Mhm.
Adam, what is the deal with Scheffler pulling out? You think right before the
He's
start? of this
exhausted.
one? I mean, do you think it's exhaustion? Was last week too much for him? What are your thoughts?
I
Kind of a
think-
disappointment.
Take him at it is disappointing, especially like we've just talked about he loves playing these Texas events, and he's been he's been a great patron there, and he loves giving back to them. It's just a tough scene when you have to play that many signature events leading into a major, and then he's got a busy stretch coming up. It's asking a lot of these guys, and sure, it's like how much sympathy do we really want to give these guys who are professional? Bill, no offense, it's going to sound like a shot to you. I promise you, it's not.
Yeah, I know.
But like as far as in the grand scheme of difficult jobs, like being a professional golfer, there's going to be an eye roll for like, oh, these guys have to play so much golf. But the amount of time and effort these guys put in, it's not just the 4, 5, 6 hours on the course for the tournament rounds these days. They're putting in a lot of work
yeah.
off the course as well. They're grinding hard. They're putting in work early. So it's not just what you see Thursday through Sunday. So it can be exhausting both physically and mentally, right? For what these guys are dealing with and playing that many big events in such a constricted part of the schedule. So I would chalk it up to just being a little fatigued, being a little tired. He's got the 2 kids at home now. That also adds things in. And sure, it's just an event down the road. So he probably could have made it work, but I would chalk it up to just being exhaustion. Don't really know anything else other than that, but I think it's just got to be the fact that these guys have played so many signature events leading right into a major with a big summer and early fall coming ahead as well.
I know you guys think it's great that we're down here at Sea Dogs and right on the water and
Looks
a nice
great.
cool breeze. Looks great. We just got buzzed by a
Dive bomb.
by a blackbird. You just see it just blow right by us.
I heard it, and I heard the reaction. Hey, if it just wants some of that ice pick vodka. It's thirsty. Give it a little bit of a taste.
I'll give it anything. Holy hell! I just envisioned it was going to land in Ashley's hair. Holy moly!
How about my hair?
It's possible.
Yeah, that's
What
one asset
hair?
of having that dome.
Okay.
All right, Adam. I got to close out with a little regular sports conversation.
What's up?
Okay, imagine that, right?
Yep.
It's the only thing I know, guys. OKC gonna be playing the Knicks.
I hope it's the Spurs.
So do I.
I really do. I really hope it is. But I think the one thing we see in the NBA and in a lot of other sports, but definitely in the NBA, is it's very rare for teams to just go and immediately get to the finals, right? You need to kind of have that attrition. You need to have those years of struggle where you lose a series in an embarrassing way or something. OKC kind of had a little bit of that, but not much. That's kind of what the
Exactly,
Spurs are going through right now. I feel like this is going to be their year of attrition. For Wemby to come out and do what he's been doing this early in his career, it's insane. And I'm done being. It's kind of like Scotty in the way that I'm not even really surprised or shocked when he does anything crazy anymore, because I just expect him to do the unthinkable and the unimaginable at this point. So excited to see what they can do. Hopefully they push it. I want to see this series for 7 games. It's incredibly exciting watching these 2 teams play basketball. I don't love the foul baiting and stuff, obviously, and the flopping. That's a big bummer. Referees being brought into the game. It's not fun, but my team signed James Harden and is going to have him for another year. So I'm kind of stuck
Oh, my
watching that
God.
as well. So this is,
that-
unfortunately, I have to
that-
watch the guy that made it cool, for another year or so, which is a bit of
Yeah,
a
it's-
bummer. But yeah, this whole ethical, unethical basketball thing, I don't know. But give me the Spurs. I want to see the Spurs. I want to see Wemby. And I just want to see just bad things happen to the New York Knicks. That was a brutal loss last week.
Now, isn't LeBron eligible? Can he go back to Cleveland?
He can,
Could he
but
go
the
back?
problem is LeBron made $50 million this year at 40 some years old, and the only thing the Cavs can offer him is the veteran minimum at about 3 million. So
Yeah, and
not sure he's gonna do that. But hey, come on home, we'll take him at this point.
Not about the money.
and,
Not about the
and
money.
a farewell tour. Well, we'll say farewell to you. It was superb having you back on, my man. We all missed you. Trying to fill that half hour of educated conversation has been a bitch. I'm gonna tell you right now. You've done a great job, and we appreciate it. And you have an open invitation to come down here on us anytime.
It's great to be back, and like I said, I would have much rather taken it on the chops. I promise I wasn't running away from the Cavs talk when I went to that Canes game, but I got it mouth open from both sides there with us 4-1 at the end of the first period. Not ideal. And I was sitting there thinking, man, Mike's probably looking at the score just laughing right now, thinking this guy stood us up for the show to go watch this. So yeah,
I'm pulling for the Canes right now. So I don't want to see Vegas. I want to see the Canes in there. All right,
one more.
One more. That's right. Thank you very much. He's Adam Woodard, of course. Thank you, John. The Fried Egg Golf. How do people find you, brother?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Adam Woodard, Instagram Adam.Woodard, but more importantly, like we said, thefriedegg.com, Fried Egg Golf across all of our social accounts. If you like this program, chances are we'll have something you'll enjoy as well across our various podcasts and YouTube videos and website posts. Subscribe to the newsletter. It's humming. We're getting close, to a pretty big landmark number for us. So that comes out Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Free of charge in your inbox, some fun professional golf coverage as well as, some anecdotal stuff about us and all of our golf lives and, things that, the average, amateur golfer can connect to as well.
I thoroughly enjoy it, and I will be. And believe it or not, John Rager won't believe this, but I'm also gonna pay for the app.
Whoa.
There we go. Hey,
Uncle Mike, thank you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Love to
All
hear
right,
it. Well,
man.
it's great to be back on. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much. Sorry, Bill.
Hey, what can I tell you? Go Canes.
Attaboy. There we go.
Adam Woodward. All right. Now we're going to, and this is starting to grow on our audience, and that is the Wild Bill weather report, because John Rager and no offense, John, you're very creative, but the creativity that Wild Bill, I understand when they call him Wild, has been amazing. And it's starting to grow on people. So why don't you give our audience a little intro, and then we'll step aside for the next 15 minutes.
Well, for On the Tee Florida, we wanted to come up with something that was unique, that our listeners want to do. I mean, we have Christian Shamp-Sharp, and he does a wonderful job on the odds and the betting and the leaderboards, and even Miss Ashley pops in there and pitches hit for him and does that. But we wanted to cover something a little different, something that when you go to a PGA Tour event, you want to know a little bit more about it. Of course, the weather is the most important thing about the outcome when you talk about external factors. I mean, you can't beat Mother Nature. So when you go to a PGA Tour event, the weather that it is, in fact, I was just watching this afternoon, the Charles Schwab Cup, and they had a rain delay. My goodness, I was just getting into it, and all of a sudden, you're watching last year's highlights. So with that, Wild Bill, very unique character. He's at Wild Bill. You can find him on all the social media. So we created something for On the Tee Florida. It's On the Tee Florida, Wild Bill at PGA Tour. This is the PGA Tour golf weather and banter with me, John Rager, PGA. This is about our 10th or 12th episode. We started this. We were out there in the Cayman Islands. We said, hey, let's do something unique, and maybe Mike Rickard will throw it up there. So with that, go ahead and enjoy this edition of Wild Bill's Golf Weather and Banter.
Mic'd up.
To On the Tee Florida is mic'd up on the Shipyard Sports Connection Network from Tampa Bay to New England. I am John Rager, mic'd up PJ broadcaster, and your host of this episode called Wild Bill's PGA Tour Weather and Golf Banter, coming to you from the Sea Dog Brewing Company St. Augustine studio and the Backyard Golf Association headquarters from Gainesville, Florida. This week, it's the Charles Schwab Challenge on the PGA Tour from the Colonial Country Club, Fort Worth, Texas. Hey, not only will we hear about the weather forecast, which always plays an integral part of the outcome, we'll also include some banter about some of the special things surrounding this event, including Hall of Famer Ben Hogan, the Royal Tartan plaid jacket to the winner, and the new star of the show, Charles Schwab's personal 1982 Blue Jeep Scrambler that's also going to be awarded to this year's champion. So now it's time for Wild Bill Stereau for his take on this week's weather from the Charles Schwab Challenge on the PGA Tour.
Woohoo! Hello there, Coach. Welcome to this week's edition of Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report as we follow the PGA Tour for the second week in the great state of Texas for the Charles Schwab Challenge from Colonial Country Club. Not only are we staying in Texas, but it appears there may be a disruption in the space-time continuum here in Texas because we are going to go back in time once again. And we're going to talk like those old-time news reporters. And once again, because we're going to honor one of the greatest players in golf from back then. We're going back in time. This particular player, one of the golf's greatest, is inextricably related to Colonial Country Club since the beginning of time. Having won the inaugural Colonial Invitational back here in 1946 and additionally claimed a record-setting 5 victories at Colonial, and ultimately becoming a lifelong member and retaining lifelong legacy here. With the club also earning a legendary nickname called Hogan's Alley. We are talking about the widely acclaimed, the world-renowned, throughout the test of time, and the celebrated, the famous, the legendary Ben Hogan.
All right.
Ben Hogan's mastery of Colonial, demanding tree line and precisely laid out course has earned this course's moniker Hogan's Alley, not to be mistaken for Hogan's Heroes. Now, that was a great show, by the way. Now, Ben Hogan secured 5 tournament victories nearly over 2 decades, winning the first and second years back-to-back 1946 and 1947 as he successfully defended his inaugural title and then went back to win 2 more back-to-backs in 52 and 53. And his final victory was in 1959, right around his 47th birthday. Now, that's a lot of numbers there, John. Now, because of his unmatched success here at Colonial Country Club, the course itself is commissioned a larger-than-life statue and placed on the grounds at the Colonial. I wonder if it's bigger than Trump's. Now, because of the unmatched success here at Colonial Country Club, the course, our history lesson will begin with the great as it continues at 64 PGA victories for Ben Hogan, the 4th highest in all time, 9 major championships, and one of 5 men to win the career Grand Slam with 4 U.S. Opens, 1 Open, 2 Masters, and 2 PGA championships. Hogan has also achieved the 1953 Triple Crown, not to be confused with horse racing, achieving what is considered one of the most remarkable single seasons in sports history, having won the Masters, the U.S. Open, and the Open all in a single year. And the only reason he failed to win the PGA Championship is because it was scheduled at the same time as the Open. Those dirty buggers.
Oh, man.
What a bummer. Now, Ben Hogan has also founded a golf company setting new standards in golf equipment and design. And this World Golf Hall of Famer has also revolutionized how the golf swing is taught and played with his 1957 book called Ben Hogan's 5 Lessons on the Modern Fundamentals of Golf. This is remains one of the most widely read and referenced instruction golf manuals to date. Now, Colonial Country Club is a legend in itself, hosting the Charles Schwab Challenge, the longest-running tournament in PGA history, and an unmatched championship history and unique architectural innovations. Colonial is the first club in Texas to import the northern-style bent grass. It is the first club in the below the Mason-Dixon line to host the U.S. Open, and it is the only club to hold the golf trifecta, hosting the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open, and the Players' Championship. Additionally, this course, believe it or not, has chilled greens because the bent grass struggles in the Texas heat. Colonial maintains an intricate underground cooling system and heating system beneath each green to keep the turf well and alive. This course features, or some may say infamous course features, one of the most notoriously difficult 3-hole stretches in golf called the Horrible Horseshoe. Holes 3, 4, and 5. This brutal 3-hole trail demands pinpoint accuracy and routinely ranked as the hardest part of the course and many other courses as well. Now, the weather, as always, will dramatically alter the strategy and scoring here at Colonial Country Club this week, John. Colonial's narrow-line, tree-line fairways and peerless hole layouts will magnify the effects of the elements. The prevailing winds here in Texas will significantly affect club selection and accuracy on the tree-line fairways, as crosswinds will increase the risks of shots ending up in the rough or even the Trinity River. The hot and humid conditions make the air less dense, allowing the golf ball to fly further, and the extreme summer heat temperatures will make the greens become firmer and faster, and the players will have to combat physical fatigue as well from the brutal heat and humidity here as we are approaching summer here in Texas. And heavy rainfall, if it happens, will slow down the course, causing abrupt ball stops on a dime and the reduction of the ball rollouts on a drive. Now, with that being said, this week's big Texas weather is looking like a big week Texas crapshoot, as always. As of now, and I'm saying that because it could change like it did last week, this week is entering the tournament with sunshine, clouds, and clear weather all the way through Saturday, with the temperatures reaching the 90s and possibly 95. But the rain chances start Saturday evening and will continue all day Sunday with a 40% chance as we enter the final round. So it appears that golf balls may be moving quite quickly until Sunday, and then the Texas weather free-for-all, as we know, and I predict scores will be low for those precise shooters. But Sunday is going to throw a big Texas wrench in this game, and it could be anyone's game if the rain moves in. As we all know, Texas weather can be predictably unpredictable. And that is Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report, coming to you live remotely from the past at Colonial Country Club and the Charles Schwab Classic, and the Backyard Golf Association. Wild Bill signing out, back from the past as we go back to the future again, John.
Well, that was certainly spirited. You know, I liked your analogy of the ball stopping on a dime. If I had a dime every time a ball stopped on the green, I'd get about 50 cents a round. So that's a pretty good deal. Hey, you know, a shout out to Sea Dog Brew Pub, Treasure Island, Chef Charlie. And we appreciate their sponsorship of the show. And for our viewers out there, if you want to get links to how to watch these episodes and some of the highlight clips, go to onthetflorida.com, onthetflorida.com. Hey, and you can catch me at John Rager PGA or at Wild Bill Stereau out there on the social media everywhere. We're everywhere on the social media, along with On the Tee Florida. Hey, but with that, you know, one of the cool things about it is, and our viewers will see when we post every Thursday, we do the live broadcast, and you'll see we always like to come up with a nice meme or flyer, stuff like that. And one of the things this year we put in the flyer for the Charles Schwab Challenge was the Blue Jeep Scrambler 1982. And this is a tradition that Charles Schwab has done since 2019. And so I'm gonna run over some of the cars they've given away, these vintage cars. So in 2019, they started this tradition. He gave away a 1973 Dodge Challenger to Kevin Na, and Kevin gave it to his caddy, Kenny Harns.
Ooh,
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
2021, 1946 Schwab Power Wagon, Jason Kokrak. You know, he's that big, long hitter out there. And that celebrated the 75th anniversary of the tournament. 1979 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am in 2022. Ooh. And it does come packed with modern technology and customized with the Schwab name inscribed throughout. Hey, 2023, 1973 Schwab Bronco. Emilio Grillo won that, celebrated the year 1973 when Charles Schwab's firm was officially founded. All right.
Oh, that's interesting.
2024, 1975 Schwab Corvette Stingray, Davis Riley. Commemorated May Day 1975 when Schwab first cut his investor rates. This sounds like a commercial for Charles Schwab. Well, I guess it is. He's sponsoring the tournament. He's giving his cars away.
There we go.
2025, 1992 Schwab Defender 110, Ben Griffin. And he honored the 1992 launch of Schwab's mutual fund OneSource, built with LL Beam fly rods. I'm not sure what all that is, but hey, Ben Griffin was the guy that, yeah, is that what it is? Okay.
Fly rods for fishing.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. And it was kind of cool because Ben Griffin in 2025, he came back after being a mortgage broker, and came back, won 3 times on the PGA Tour. Wow. So now he's one of the top stars. So this year's star of the show is the 1982 Schwab Jeep Scrambler.
Oh, there you go.
That's just such a cool tradition there at the Charles Schwab Challenge. Hey, let's shift gears real quick. We also put on our flyer. We're wearing plaid sports coats. So the only plaid thing I could come up with tonight is my plaid coffee cup right here. All right.
The only plaid thing I have is my underwear, but I can't show it to you.
Oh no! Oh no!
Just kidding.
Well, this has been a long-standing tradition. This tournament started in 1946, and they gave away blue jackets, navy blue jackets. Then in 1952, they switched to the Royal Tartan plaid jacket, which is actually Scottish heritage, and it's authentic Scottish tartan imported directly from the United Kingdom.
Wow.
All right. And unlike other tournaments, Colonial specific design features a complex pattern featuring 17 different colors. So, and I guess, you just can't buy one of these. I bet you can at a, somewhere out there. I bet you they sell replicas. I mean, my goodness, they sell replicas of everything. But only the tournament champions get awarded that. And earlier in this year, when we talked about the RBC Heritage Classic, they also give a plaid jacket, but it was inspired by a 1790 portrait of Scottish golfer Sir William Innes. So anyway, that's the Jeep and the tartan and the Ben Hogan Hall of Fame. It's just that was his home course, obviously, and you covered it quite well, Bill. And this has got a lot of heritage, this tournament, and we're looking forward to the weekend to see who's going to take home the trophy.
Once again, I learned a lot researching all this. It's amazing what I am learning every time I do this. So we will all learn together. Our show is very educational.
Well, it is. And actually, you're going to learn more that you wanted to, and you will like it. How about that, everybody?
That's true.
Well, and there you have it, everybody. You've been listening to On the Tee Florida's Mic'd Up, featuring Wild Bill's golf weather and banter on the Shipyard Sports Connection Network from Tampa Bay to New England, brought to you by Sea Dog Brew Pub, Treasure Island. I'm your host, Mic'd Up broadcaster John Rager. And remember to always carry an umbrella in case it rains. Woo-hoo! See you next week.
Well, thank you very much, John Rager, and of course, Wild Bill Sarow. You know what? As wild as he is, and if he's watching, which he probably is, or listening, it's hard to believe that you're a wild man. You're a lot of fun. That he's an esteemed oral surgeon in America. There, John.
That's true. I wouldn't have put those two things together at all.
It's amazing, and he's got incredible golf family as well. His son, his daughter's a PGA of America teaching pro. Very impressive.
Well, it's been a pleasure to be a good friend of Wild Bill. I met him years ago when he has 4 kids, and they all waddled into my PJ Junior League and my PJ Drive, Chip, and Putt Junior Golf programs, and watched them all grow. But I'm really especially proud of his daughter Ellie, who became a PJ golf professional by going to Florida Gulf Coast University, and his son Will's played in the USGA Junior Championships, played with Charlie Woods, has played with some of the elite golfers here at the Florida Junior Golf Tour. So
we're gonna talk to Justin Sheehan the top of the second hour about
that's right, about the AJGA and the invitational they had there. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Hey, let's give him some more flowers.
Let's talk about Bill Buttner.
Wow.
Why don't you give our audience a
please?
I mean, I hammer you. I never really let you do justice. Why don't you, in a serious format, explain what you do when you go to North Carolina every year?
Well, I've been blessed, obviously, to been invited to teach/coach the Lady Golfaries up at Pine Needles, which is a great historical thing that has been going on for 40 or 50 years, in which they bring in basically 70 to 75 ladies from around the country, if not around the world, to learn and be educated about the game of golf, but in the meantime, have fun. So we do a lot of instruction, but we do a lot of fun things on the side. So the ladies get a good representation of what golf is all about. It's not about turning professional and becoming the best player you've ever been. It's about learning little tidbits of information along the line, having fun with it, getting better at it. And I was fortunate last year because of my retirement from Eckerd College.
Wink, wink.
Wink. that I was able to
irony.
do 7 weeks a year of Lady Golf Aries, and I've just come back last night from my 4-week stint up there doing the Lady Golf Aries, and had a great time, met some great people, and coached with some great coaches.
I know I'm sorry, Ashley. I know you're a wonderful teaching professional, and let's get that out of the way. It's done now.
Okay.
You can't tell me, and I guarantee you, Ashley and John, that there isn't some golden bachelor type tendencies. That many women, knowing you're single, you're in great health for your age. They have
your age.
They have it. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that because I'm same age.
Yeah.
And and they have an attraction to the game of golf. You cannot look at our audience in a straight face that you don't get hit on every year. Tell the
Okay.
truth. Tell the truth.
Let's put it this way. I am rooming with Mr. Pat McGowan, who is...
Would you like to tell us a little bit about Pat McGowan
Let him.
for
He
those
was getting
of
ready
us
to
that-
fess
yes.
up. Wait.
Oh, he wants to hear the true confessional. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, Pat has obviously played the tour better and more often than I have.
He's
Okay.
married. His wife passed.
His wife passed, and so he is a bachelor and happens to own, 7 golf courses and real estate and this and that and the other. And, that not to say that's my competition.
But
So what? There's plenty to go
Yeah.
around. I could go up there. My carcass could go up there. Well, maybe not.
There are some connections I have made as far as, obviously being in the same place at the same time with same interests. So we do have a few drinks together, but they leave and hopefully they come back next year.
Hey, did
Hey,
you treat
hey, Mike, let's be kind to Bill there and Pat. I did some show prep just because anticipating a question like this, and I put it in the Microsoft Copilot. Bill Butner, 15-year PJ Tour Pro, legendary teacher, Pat McGowan. Put it
Bob
all in
Long.
there. You know what came up when I put them both in there together? It came up as men's threat and ladies' pets. So that's what came up in the AI.
What?
Yeah.
Would you like to
What?
explain that?
Yeah. Oh, I need a breakdown of that.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, man's threat and ladies' pet. Are you kidding me? Holy cow! We need to send you back to school.
Wow, I missed out. That went right over my head. So
Hey, I gotta ask you a question. Of course, you're not gonna answer any of these honestly. Did you cozy up to that gal from Iowa and drop my name?
I did mention your name. I did mention
Now
your
we're
name.
getting down to it.
And I was obviously turned aside like I was like a cold potato, but I did mention your name, and
She probably poured a drink on you.
yeah, so you really meet the best personalities at the bar. I can tell you that. We have a 1-hour a social hour, and those are the ones that you kind of connect with during that hour, not the 7 hours on the golf course. It's the 1 hour in the bar that you connect with.
Well, the bottom line, like Ashley said, we're just happy to have you back in all seriousness. And we're going to have a conversation here shortly at 7 o'clock. I see he's already potted up, and that, of course, is with the director of golf up there at Pelican, Justin Sheehan. He's kind enough at the last minute to join us and take a little time. So, John, while you got the mic in your hand, why don't you give him a proper introduction?
Ladies and gentlemen, on the tee, Florida, the 6:59 p.m. tee time. One of the most accomplished PGA golf professional coaches and teachers in the state of Florida. The husband of one of the most accomplished PGA golf professional coaches and teachers in the state of Florida. The director of golf at one of the most prestigious clubs in the state of Florida, and the host PGA professional of the most prestigious golf event on the LPGA Tour, the Annika, driven by Gamebridge at Pelican. Let's welcome Justin Sheehan.
Thanks, John.
Where's
Hello,
the applause
everyone.
there? My producer.
Nope. No
That
love.
was
no love.
very flattering. Thank you.
Well, the resume speaks for itself, my friend, and we're just privileged to have you join us here on the Tee Florida. We try to catch up with you a couple of times a year, not just so much for the Annika driven by Gamebridge, but for you guys.
Now, finally, yes.
Well, I had to buy a round to everybody down here to get that applause. But anyway, all of the things that you and your wife do away from Pelican and away from preparing for the Hanukkah driven by Gamebridge. That's why we like to catch up with you. And this is one of those. Jeremy Freeman brought it to our attention last week that you had the AJGA Team TaylorMade Invitational up there, and one Charlie Woods was participating. Not the outcome he had the year before, 2025, when he got his first win, but certainly a lot of talent up there at the Pelican, my man.
Yeah, it was an awesome weekend. These boys can play. Well, some of them are men at this point, but they can play golf. I watched Brody, who shot 61, the course record, a pretty good amount that round, and he could have shot 57.
Really?
Driver 8-iron into par 5.
Wow.
Missed a couple short ones for birdie that he could have made. It was special, but fun to see. Some of the kids were 12 years old up to 19, and wanted to do something for the boys because we have so much for the ladies, and this was a great way to bring some of the young men in college. Miles Russell was there, 11 of the top 20 in the junior golf scoreboard. There's some talent.
How do you explain the fact that these guys at this age can shoot such a low score?
Well, first off, they have no nerves, right? Because some of the places, I can't believe where they chip from, 2 feet off the green.
With the 60.
I'm putting from 30 yards and in at this point. So they're fearless, but also this is a different conversation, but I think the ball goes too far and everybody hits it so far. It's just a different game. They're flipping wedges in every hole. I don't know.
We were just discussing the ball issue with Adam Woodard of The Fried Egg, used to be with Golf Week magazine, and we were just discussing that same topic. So you're obviously on that side of the equation that the ball does go too far.
I think it goes too far, but I also relate to myself. I haven't been practicing or playing much, and I hit a few drivers the other day, again, not in much form. At about 106 miles an hour, I was flying at 265, going to about 290. I don't feel like I should hit at 290 at that club hit speed. So I can only imagine another 15 miles an hour. It's just, so I'm in favor of rollback. I don't like bifurcation at all. I think there's too much intermingling with, Miles Russell's playing the Corn Ferry this week. Would he have to have 2 different balls? So I would slow it down. I'd probably slow it down way more than they're suggesting.
Hey, Justin, you talk about Miles Russell. I was just watching the tournament this past week, Charles Schwab, and it looked like Blades Brown got his special temporary exemption on the PGA Tour this year. Big debate whether he should stay on the tour, focus on the Corn Ferry Tour, try to do both, whatever. I look at Miles Russell's. He's about right there, but he's going to go to college this year. Is he that close to like a Blades Brown?
I watched him a good amount, especially on the range, and I mean, I give him credit for wanting to go get an education, but I feel like, especially with how fickle this game is, you kind of have to strike while the iron's hot, and he is really good. I'd be shocked if he does 4 years. I have no inside intel. That's just my feeling because he could play now.
Now, you had Charlie Woods up there, correct?
We did. Mm-hmm.
And why didn't he shoot 60, 60, 60 kind of thing? What's your take on that?
Charlie's a very nice player. I think he just you could see still the difference between Charlie and Bodie or Luke or Miles. I think he just has to tighten everything. I was very impressed with his putting, especially the short putts. Charlie's very confident. He didn't drive it. I probably watched him play a total of pretty close to 18 holes. He didn't drive it well enough. He does everything
Charlie probably
well.
he's probably a little worried about his dad right now and all that. He's probably got other things on his mind, but how cool is it for you to drive around that golf course? You're looking at the future PGA Tour. Like the AJGA has been like that for years. A lot of the top stars have gone on to play on the PGA Tour. But how cool is it to just you drive around and you've already probably picked out a handful of young men out there that played in that tournament that will probably be on the PGA Tour one day.
100%. And I honestly, from what I saw, I think a few of them could give it a go right now. Luke Rinkkamp, who won the event, which is his final AJGA event, he's going to play at Pepperdine. He was 8 back with 11 to play.
Wow.
Wow.
So he birdied 7, 9, and then shot 31 on the back. So you see somebody like that, and how could he not be close enough?
Hey, when you went to the driving range, you watched them, warm up and everything. I'm sorry to call it a driving range there at Pelican Club. It's probably called something else, the practice area or something. But when you watch them hit balls, was the contact and the sound a lot like a PGA Tour event when you go watch the best players in the world? When Bill used to play on the PGA Tour, I remember going to watch him and some others. They just hit the ball differently. It sounds different coming off the club. Do any of these kids have that same sound? Or
Miles, 100%. It actually, I was standing on the range on Sunday morning watching Miles, and it reminded me of the first time I saw Lexi. I was Jim McLean's assistant, and we were watching her play the final round of the Doral Publix, which she won at 12 years old in the oldest division. And she hit 3-wood lob wedge into 18 at Doral. All the other girls were hitting driver hybrid. Miles has a different sound. He has a different flight, and the consistency of the sound in the flight was different than everybody else I was watching around him.
How are the? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ash.
No. I was curious. Hi, how are you, by the way?
Hi, Ashley.
So my question as the director of golf at Pelican, we know it's a beautiful course, beautiful clubhouse. You have the LPGA event, the Annika that goes on there, and now hosting this AJGA event. What's it mean for you to have an event like this, a development event at your club, and what would you like to see in the future added to your lineup as far as events that you would host there?
Well, I think it's our goal to just try to give back to all the opportunities. AJGA is different from the first tee. There's
Sure.
Right. So I like to try to do some stuff with the first tee, but really you just provide opportunities for these kids to get a unique experience. So it just means a lot. As you were asking that, it reminded me of this. So Brittany Altamari, who I met, she couldn't get off the Epson tour, and we started working together, and she made 2 Solheim Cups, and she got me a custom ping putter.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh my!
How cool is that?
A gold, isn't that gold?
It's beautiful.
So,
Wow, that's super cool.
just to see the impact that you can have, even if it's just for a couple days of golf, I don't know, it means a lot. So, talking to the Florida State Golf Association about having a boys junior. We have the SEC women's for at least 3 more years, which I'd like to continue that until they don't want to have.
Hey, I want to jump in here, Justin, because I got to watch Coach John Gruden open up his Pelican Golf Club package you sent him. For our viewers out there, everybody
fabulous.
probably has watched that 100 times. They know who John Gruden is, but I was really impressed. I just saw it today. You sent him a really nice package from Pelican Golf Club, and he mentioned that he's never played there before. And he wasn't quite begging, but it was like, oh my goodness! So, hey, congratulations on sending him the package, the crystal, the coaster, the T-shirt. I mean, my goodness! Hey, that was really cool.
Well, that was from a while ago, and I believe at the time that was the first non-football box.
Was it really?
Really?
Yeah, I sent that probably almost a year ago.
I sent you a text right afterwards because I was thinking maybe I would put together and I still may. We broadcast from Ferg Sports Bar, which is now ranked #1 in America. I'm thinking about getting Mark and putting together a box from Ferg Sports Bar because he's been there numerous times. I've seen him and sending that to him. And I thought, nah, it's the sports bar. But when you sent the golf package, I thought,
Why not?
That was bold, and why not? And he loved it.
Still hasn't been
Well,
out
you know,
though.
Justin, everything lives forever on the internet. I know that's probably, kind of embarrassing. I just watched it today. It was probably 6 months ago. Did John Gruden actually get to play there as he teed it up there?
He has not
Oh,
been
my
out yet.
goodness.
Now,
has
you
not
want to
been.
know the ironic thing is that John Gruden was actually at St. Petersburg Country Club, right? I mean, that was just, and was that in February, Bill?
Yes, it was during the member guest, I believe.
Or we had there was a PGA event that we hosted, and he was super nice, and we had Gary Koch out, and he did an interview with
Joe Madden.
Joe Madden and John, and then the race car driver. Oh, no, Formula One driver. He was great. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great interview. but-
Sebastian.
No,
No, that's right. It wasn't Sebastian. It was the other one.
no. We'll think. Anyway, it was a great event. So,
Hey, Justin, I'm the chair-elect for the Florida Sports Hall of Fame, and we do these mic'd up podcasts with all of our Hall of Famers, and John Gruden was inducted in the class of 22 at the Raymond James Stadium when we had our Florida Sports Hall of Fame enshrinement there. We've got one coming up next week. We are going to just put him on the spot and say, Coach, why haven't you been down to Pelican Golf Club to play? Are you kidding me?
Well, I sent him. He follows me on Instagram, but apparently doesn't read his messages because I told him to come over. So make sure you bring it up.
I'm sure he would love to be there. It's a beautiful course, a great layout.
So let's give your wife the respect she deserves as well. I'd like to get her on sometime. I think we did have her on the phone before we went on our YouTube channel, and she's a lot better looking than you, by the way. I just want to let you know that.
That's a fact.
You outkicked your coverage. But in all seriousness, talk a little bit about her and the worldwide impact she has with all these young ladies that she works with personally.
Well, she's a special person, first off. That's why I married her. And I don't know why she said yes. But she's really finding her way. Kind of deviated a little bit into some unique stuff. She has a agreement with AIG to do events for their clients and some of the female employees. She's currently right now up in New York City with 150 Fortune 500 women at NASDAQ doing a golf thing.
Wow.
So
Holy smokes.
she's still teaching some, but she's sort of moving into this women in corporate America who could benefit from being exposed to golf.
Well, we're going to get her on.
That is incredible. That's
the
incredible to hear that. That's fantastic.
We're gonna name drop you. Is that okay to get her on the air?
I don't know if that's going to help.
Yeah. Well, hey, we had Jeremy on last week, and of course, the conversation always goes to the Annika, as it continues to be the #1 event in America each and every year on the LPGA. Already started some of the procedures to prepare.
We are, absolutely.
Well, we're looking. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, every year we try to make it better. It's just we're getting to the point where it's small things here and there. I'm just curious myself, aside from our event, just the future of professional golf, but also on the women's side, because the Public Investment Fund and the Aramco was huge on saving the Ladies European Tour. And I don't know if anybody knows if Aramco is still going to be involved. So what the landscape for the women look like. I think it could have a bigger impact on the women than the men.
Well, you take a look at what's. Go ahead, John.
No, we had the good fortune. We went to cover the LAT event at Feather Sound when they came in the Aramco there, and some of the LPGA Tour stars played in that, and it was that moved the needle for the women on the European Tour. Mm-hmm. And, I know that if they withdraw their funding from that, it's going to be a big impact. But I think that the LPGA Tour, the future is so bright because you're corporate America, and a lot of folks have discovered that this is a tour that's very accessible. Everybody's, America has daughters that play golf. And I saw at the Annika tournament this year, you had, and I think it was during the Pro-Am, when you had a bunch of celebrities kind of play, and you had little girls being interviewed in the gallery on the Golf Channel while they're there, while they're watching some of these Lady Tour pros, while they're watching the Pro-Am. There's this famous basketball player I know that played that, Mike can tell us about from Iowa that played in your Pro-Am. There you go.
Clark. Iowa's finest. I'm from Iowa, in case you didn't know that, Justin.
Yeah.
I remember. Don't forget she had her teammates too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I know
absolutely.
you're concerned from the ladies' side of it because that's the feeder. That's some of the future stars will come from that. But isn't it cool that Annika provides the sponsor exemptions to certain people out there and some especially like a collegiate golfer to be able to play an LPGA Tour event? Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, Annika's doing so much for golf, junior golf, ladies golf. So when it was the Pelican Women's Championship, we had all 3 exemptions, and then when we partnered with Gamebridge and Annika, Gamebridge got one, Annika got, and we have one. So Annika gives it to the winning team of her intercollegiate event every year. And then our first couple of years, we gave one to the North Florida Women's Section Championship Golf Pro.
Wow, cool.
But with only one remaining one, it was hard to commit that every year. But Annika's incredible. Having her involved, there's nobody like her. Other than Nancy Lopez, I am secretly in love with Nancy Lopez, and she knows it.
I love that admission on air. That was beautiful.
Wow,
she had a husband that played in the major leagues. I said had.
Okay, good.
You had some tough competition when she was married to Ray there, buddy.
Well,
hey, Justin, I read Nancy Lopez's autobiography. And one of the things she said about when she was a little girl wanting to, play golf and just enjoy the game of golf and play golf, she thought it was so cool to wear golf spikes and hear them clatter on the cart path. Or any concrete or anything. She thought that was the coolest thing. And that was one of the things that propelled her just to her love of golf.
Yeah, she's a special person.
Well, Justin, I appreciate you taking time. As always, I got to ask about membership up there because we got the membership director here at St. Pete Country Club. I'm sure you guys are not in need of any members up there with the success and the incredible venue that you have.
We're doing well. I mean, you never know. The economy goes up and down, but the club's very healthy and things are great.
I don't think, Mike, you got the invitation you were looking for.
No, I was going to say, Justin, it's ironic recently, and I have this weird little connection with Pelican. I've had a few members that have just moved a little closer to downtown and are just looking for a little access when they're on this side. And so it's funny. There's been a couple. There's a connection going on there. So.
Are you stealing them? Are you stealing them, Ash?
No. They are very happy at Pelican. They just want a little more golf access when these are spoiled guys, right?
I know one off the top of my head. He's a great guy.
Yeah, a great guy. Yeah. Some good people over there at Pelican.
We try.
All right, my man. I certainly appreciate you taking time to join us, and tell your wife I'll be bugging her pretty soon to get some nice content on our new YouTube channel.
I appreciate it. Great to see everyone, and I'll see you in November.
All right. That's
Thank
Justin
you.
Sheehan,
Thanks.
Director of Golf, does an incredible job in the world of golf. You know what was so impressive, John? You were trying to describe, is at the driving range, and I missed last year, unfortunately. But when you sit out there and look at that driving range, I mean, it's impeccable. And like we thought the first time we walked down there, that was artificial turf you're walking on. That's actually the grass.
Hey,
It's
while you were
amazing.
gone last year, one of the fun things I observed from it.
I came
was
back
our
though,
ca-
buddy. I ruined your life. I came back.
It was our cast. Bill Butner, Kristen Schaffshardt, and Ashley Grimaldi. They went out. They got selfies with everybody. Here comes let me get this right. Nelly Corda.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I got that right. Well, here comes Nelly Corda, and there they are. They got a selfie with her. I mean, you know what? I'm just sitting there. I'm just trying to hope the equipment gets set up properly. I'm trying to figure out how Bill Butner and I can slip into the hospitality area and get a beverage. And I couldn't find him for an hour because I looked at my social media like 3 or 4 days afterwards, and they got selfies with everybody at that tournament. So that was pretty cool.
Well, no, it's not cool.
What do you mean not cool?
'Cause
Annika was great. Annika was great.
I've never come clean on this, and I'm going to right now.
Uh-oh.
You know, we're media, and I got a call from Jeremy. I got a call from Jeremy Friedman, and he, in so many words, said, "Where'd you get these fans that you brought up here to bother our golfers?"
No.
No
And-
way. There's no way, Jose. No way, Jose.
They loved every minute they spent with us. They were enamored by our presence.
Well, that's 'cause you
Absolutely,
went to-
Bill. You got that 100%.
Hey, can I roll back real quickly to one thing when we were talking to Justin and we were talking about Gruden? It was Nigel Mansell.
Nigel, that's right.
Nigel Mansell and with Joe Madden and John when they had the interview with Gary Koch, and it was fantastic. And actually, Nigel was hilarious. I loved his stories, weren't they?
And we did not bother them
Yeah.
at all. We
Yeah.
were just enjoying their presence.
First of all, you know that's not true. But you guys were better fans than you were media that day because you were so starstruck.
No.
Starstruck.
No.
They were starstruck
I
about
listened
me.
to every word of the show.
They were starstruck about me. Hello.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Mike? I'm going to defend my fellow cast members here because you know what? Our media is different because we're
I'm
not bomb
kidding.
throwers. We're not trying to get clicks and likes. What we are is true fans of the game, and we were totally enamored to be there. In fact, I remember Annika walking right by us and waving to us while we're doing our broadcast in the pitch black darkness. She was like one of the last to leave. So next year,
first of
Mike,
all-
you are tasked. We need to be there on Wednesday Pro-Am Day
We
in
can be
the
there any-
afternoon. In
Well,
the
we
We can
afternoon.
be there any day.
I was going to say, if you got a call from Jeremy Friedman, it was probably about the food court before our broadcast and probably about how much steak didn't they have Omaha steaks there that day?
Oh, they did.
Oh, it was
Oh,
delicious.
they did.
So
Yeah.
good. Yeah. That was our favorite part. They probably wanted us to kind of like move on.
You know, I need motivation to get completely healthy, and this is it now. I'm putting my foot down. I'm going to be
Well,
there
what we
next year.
did was if we weren't into the media tent food court. Bill and I walked into the
that's
Omaha
not-
Steak
that-
food court,
that's just
and
chump
I
change for
said
you
I was
guys.
Elon Musk, and he said he was Jeff Bezos, and they let us right in.
Perfect.
Get a big plate.
Well, why didn't you take this beauty to my right there?
She was there. She was with little Annika.
Did you get to go have the steak with the boys?
I had to bring me steak.
With
we
little
did.
Annika.
I did have some steak.
with,
I did.
With little Annika.
Yes, with little Annika. We had Annika Joyner with
we
us.
had little Annika.
Yes.
Yes.
You're watching
So,
on
Mike,
the TV.
hey, Mike, if you want to take a vacay day next year at the same time, we
Not
got you
happening.
covered, baby. We
Not
got you
happening.
covered.
You better be there this time.
Not happening. You're watching on the T Florida live from from Sea Dogs down here on the. Well, you can understand why I said it, because each and every Saturday you can see us as well on our YouTube channel.
We love Fergs too.
Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection on Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. But our alliance down here is with Fred Forsley and the gang. We love it down here on Treasure Island, my old neighborhood. We're right on the Intercoastal. It's about 8:20.
It's warm.
That's the way it's supposed to be. It's Florida. There's a breeze coming off the Gulf. I can see the.
Just sweating. I'm glistening.
I
I'm
can see
glistening.
the U.S. flag over there on the Gulf, and I tell you what, they still have happy hour weekends here at Sea Dogs now. They're back to doing brunch, and they do a spectacular job. Our buddy, of course, Charlie Breakiron, the former Ohio State golfer, and doesn't get to golf now much. He's got three boys, 51 years old, and has 3 sons since he turned 50. Now that's a man. Or
That
he's
is
out
a
of his
man.
mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, great brunch on Saturday and Sunday. And then, of course, our favorites. Adam, what are they drinking here? What do you got? What?
Cold beverages.
I don't have a cold beverage. Why is that?
Lager and tequila. We're in the tequila business now as well as Ice Pick vodka. Ice Pick vodka.
Ice Pick has tequila?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
We're gonna have to test out the Ice Pick.
Hey, I
tequila.
just heard
And-
about that, Mike. Do you know anything about that? The
Yeah,
tequila?
he went to Aruba and met some guys, and then actually our first show of 2026 here. Fred was sitting over the table throwing down shots and negotiating with these guys. And they were the loud, rowdy guys that I was trying to talk over. But, yeah, as he always does, a beer with Fred, if you want to go to his social media, some superb conversations, and he was having one of those. And now it's turned into a partnership. And Ice Pick Vodka, without a shadow of doubt, is taking the country by storm. You can get Ice Pick Vodka sent right to your residence, John Rager. And it's, for the price and distilled 8 times. There's not a smoother vodka on the market. And if you're talking price point, it doesn't touch anything.
It is. It's a high quality vodka. It's excellent. And, I'm really cool about Fred getting into the tequila business. I can tell you that whatever Fred does, he does it right. So whether it's the Shipyard Brewing, Sea Dog Brewing, Ice Pick Vodka, I don't know what the name of the tequila venture is, but I can tell you that whatever he does it first class all the way.
Well, also, I'm sorry, I'll finish my infomercial and then I'll go to you.
No, I was just it was more about, it was about Fred. It was about Fred, actually.
Well, there's nothing you can say bad about Fred. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt the conversation.
No, I just wanted to know when we were going to get a chance to be on air with Fred on his show.
Well, he's up north where it's nice and cool. He's a lot smarter than us. I'm going up. Adam,
maybe even better. We can get a trip.
I'll be up there.
Adam's bailing on. You know what? I got an idea right now. Adam's bailing on us in August. And it's going to be hotter than hell here.
Is Bill gone in August, too?
We're all going. We're all going. We're coming to Maine with you, Adams.
I'm in New England.
Let's go.
Yeah,
road trip.
We're gonna road trip and go to Maine.
On the T road trip.
Anyway,
making it a thing right now.
Anyway, we'll get back to conversation now. We got a few minutes, and then we're going to have a nice chat with Lance Ringler of Golf Week magazine. He's been out there in California for the women's and the men's NCAA. And
Lance Ringler, who we just discovered, whose son is a Michael Jackson impersonator. Correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And my grandson, Jackson Michael, that's his name, is a diehard fan.
No.
My grandson.
Really? Jackson Michael?
Yeah, and he, since he was 4 years old, is an over-the-top fan. And so I directed him to Landon Ringler, and he's got like 20,000 plus followers on I think it's YouTube and Facebook, because he is a spectacular Michael Jackson impersonator, kind of like you, buddy. Who would you impersonate if you were if you had any talent?
Oh wow! How about you?
Yeah, well, somebody with talent.
Oh.
You know what? Ron Howard. This is Ron Howard. This is Opie.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I could see
Ron
that.
Howard.
Bayberry, RFD.
Who do people tell you look like, Bill? Typically.
Ron Howard.
Do they really? That's it. What
Yeah.
about Mike? Who's the celebrity people?
What do you
ask
call them? Doppelgangers?
Your doppelganger.
Yeah. People have said I looked like Woody Harrelson.
Woody. Okay, I could see that. I could see
Cheers?
that. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah. I don't smoke weed. Hey, speaking of, I wanted to finish that. Speaking of weed,
Who's speaking weed?
Fred has also got into the THC-infused beverages.
Yes.
It's called ALT, A-L-T-E.
Yes.
And I'm telling you right now,
I've not had one.
I'm not a big weed guy or gummies. They tell me I should take them, but Mark Ferguson and I, Ferg, he's not either, but he's carrying it now. I got him to carry it, and we called each other. This is like 4 or 5 weeks ago. We each had a can.
Oh boy.
And we described it. And I said, Mark, how was yours? He said, I slept like a baby. And I said,
I have to try it.
I said, I had a magical mystery tour. I said, I had the weirdest freaking dreams in the world. That's what THC does to me. But yeah, ALT, A-L-T-E.
Please don't tell me I was in your dream.
I dream about you showing up here and bringing some wisdom each and every week.
Hey, Mike, be careful with that beverage, because you sent me a text that night at 3 a.m. saying that we all live in a simulation. So you got to be careful with that.
Well, Adam, we're ready to roll with the guest, but right now he's doing a superb job of making sure my my on-air personalities have plenty of alcohol in their system.
Cold.
We only got a
cold
half hour.
No.
Cold liquid, not.
We were just
alcohol.
bragging
It's
about
more
you,
about
Adam.
it's more about some ice and some type of
Yes,
hydration
it's
at this
about
point.
Hydration.
Yeah.
Hydration.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk a little about serious golf for a second. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay.
Love that.
Have you been watching any of this NCAA women's?
I have, except that Carolina got nicked on the. They made the first cut, but they lost the second cut.
So you haven't watched any of it?
I've been traveling and been working.
I thought you were a collegiate golfer still. Had been one for 2 decades. You'd think you'd be a little more in tune to what's going on.
I escorted the team to the regionals from Eckerd College.
How'd they do?
They did not make it to the nationals. Unfortunately, our
But that's a big step for them, though,
it
just
was
to
the
get that
first-
far.
First time ever in the history of the college to have a team go to regionals. But unfortunately, and this is amazing to me, our conference was not represented in the final 8.
Can you tell us again what conference that Eckerd does participate in?
We are in the Sunshine State Conference with 11 programs, and we, back in the day, dominated college women's golf at the Division II level, which we would be 1, 2, and 3 in the country. Now we have.
Who's your biggest rival in the Sunshine?
I would say Rollins is always
Rollins
a
would
good
definitely
one.
be strong, sure.
Florida Southern is always nationally ranked. St. Leo's in there. I mean, they've all won the national.
It's Florida
championship.
golf. It's going to be competitive, right?
Oh, it's crazy.
Well,
but now,
your Division II golf, and I've said this many times when I've had the athletes down. It doesn't matter which sport. That conference is the SEC of Division II, without a shadow of a doubt. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. The question is, where did these other teams come from? The Grand Valley States, the Dallas Baptists, the other schools that are really starting to come on with Division II women's golf. It's crazy.
Well, you know, some of this NIL, and I hate to even discuss it. We talk about it enough on the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection because it's such a hot potato these days. But the NIL money and the way that things are going in the collegiate sports world is having an impact on Division II, and it's going to continue. Some of it positive though, because you're going to get some athletes that you would have never gotten because they're being pushed aside due to the NIL offers that these other guys are getting. Am I
Hey,
correct?
Mike and Bill, with our next guest, he might be able to answer a question because I understand that Eastern Michigan has come out of nowhere. And they went really deep in the NCAA, so maybe we can talk to our next guest about that.
There he is.
They did not come out of nowhere, John. They came out of somewhere. Deep.
Well, that's true.
Deep pockets.
Yeah, that's it, Bill. You said it better than I could ever say it.
I was with the coaches last week that knew everything that was going on behind the scenes.
Oh, interesting.
Of the 2 sisters that do not attend the college, but then are playing on the team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
online courses. You got it. That's right.
You've got some intel. We're going to have to
That
hear more about
that
it.
sounds like an
Hey,
angry.
we got Lance. Look like we got Lance ready to go.
Yeah, I don't want to hear from the angry Division II coach anymore. All right. Why
Have a
don't
good one, Lance.
you give him his introduction there, John?
Ladies and gentlemen, on the T Florida, the 7:33 p.m. tee time. Just like the secret menu at Sea Dog Brew Pub at Treasure Island, he is a rare combination in the world of college golf. Journalism, analytics, coaching, and tournament operations. He also at one time could carry a golf bag for 18 holes a day as he caddied for PGA Touring professional Craig Boughton. The man with many titles, college golf journalist, tournament director, and Golf Week senior writer. Let's welcome Lance Ringler.
Come on, production. Where's production? Come on, production.
I'm trying to get the gallery here.
There we go.
There they are.
There we go. We're there.
We had to let him know that it was Lance. How are you, my man?
I'm good. Sounds like you guys are doing all right.
We just did a segment about your son and his rise in the world on social media, and I sent you a text.
And we learned Mike's your nephew.
I sent him a
nephew's
text.
name.
My grandson's name is
Grandson.
Jackson Michael.
Jackson Michael.
Wow.
And he loves Michael Jackson. And after you were on the last time, I have my son show it to him. He follows your son all the time. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
So let's talk about the women's collegiate, of course. Stanford came out of it with the win. But let's touch upon that Eastern Michigan. We want clarity, just not some barroom talk that Bill that just shared with us.
It's not barroom talk. Go ahead.
No, it's a
Yeah.
I want to know too.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
know
even in a bar. I want to know this too.
What do you want to know?
Who paid who?
Well, I mean, it started a couple years ago. They hired a men's and women's coach. They got Andy Walker, who's from Virginia Commonwealth, and Josh Brewer, who had just been let go at Georgia. And they brought those two coaches in. A big donation, or whatever you want to call it, a bunch of money to fund a facility and just fund the program from a coaching salary standpoint, and then from an NIL standpoint. And they were able to go out and get some players on both sides. Obviously, the men's team did not win the conference championship. They came up short, so they didn't even get into the regional. They had some injuries at the end of the year that kind of held them back. But I mean, when they got the kind of money that they got, I don't expect that to last. It's going to be much harder on the men's side, obviously, than the men. But the women, Josh was able to bring a really good player from Georgia that he recruited from Europe, Savannah DeBach, and she was the kind of the point person last year. And then he was able to get a couple more good players going into this year, and it just it all fell together. And top 30 team, and got here and believed, played with a chip on their shoulder, and got into match play and beat Texas, and then fell to Stanford, which everybody falls to Stanford. And so quite the story. But honestly, when you really talk about it, a lot of people talk about it. They don't quite get it, don't quite see it, but at the end of the day, they're kind of on the same playing field now with a Florida, with a Texas, with a Stanford when it comes to money. So it's not all that hard to understand how they could do this, other than the fact that the name on the bag says Eastern Michigan, and that makes absolutely no sense. But other than that, it can be done with the right coach and the right support and resources. It can be done pretty good. And you hear about it all the time in basketball and football. Indiana football bought a championship. Michigan basketball bought a championship. So, it can happen in golf easier than those sports because you only need 3 players. You bring in 3 or 4 players, and that's all you need. You don't need a bench. You need backups. Just a different deal in golf.
The Eastern Michigan football team, I know this is a golf show, but all I know about Eastern Michigan is their football field is like gray or something. Looks like you're playing in an industrial warehouse or something. I hope the campus isn't that dark and drab, but I guess they're on the map. They got the money, they got the players, and they're going to be a powerhouse for years to come.
Probably.
Andy was one of our coaches in our conference before he left for Virginia, so I know.
Where
Andy.
was he at?
He was over at Lynn.
Yep.
He took over Lynn, which is another program that had lots of money, but he left for Virginia and then obviously went to Eastern Michigan. So he followed the money.
Yep.
Hey, Lance, we when we gave you this introduction of all the different roles you've had and that you still have, how in the world did you get into this? How in the world, you've evolved into the leader in college golf, but in many different aspects, obviously journalism and analytics and tournament director. How did this evolve? How did Lance Ringler evolve in all this?
Well,
Iowa State education.
Yeah, right. I've been pretty lucky in being able to kind of see ahead and what I need to focus on. Like when I first started at Golf Week, I was basically a small time writer, doing rankings and doing day-to-day stuff on golfweek.com, covering events, But what happened was, as things kind of changed and you start to realize that the journalism world and the magazines and people reading stories and things like that was kind of going away. And Golf Week decided to get involved in the event business. And I've had some background in tournament golf as a college coach, obviously caddying on tour and working for the AJGA, that I said I can run tournaments. So I just kind of flipped that into running. I got 15 tournaments a year right now going. So that's
how many?
I got 15 right now. I just finished.
Holy
Wow.
smokes!
Yeah, I think I talked to you guys before about my NIT at College Golf. We just finished that last week. We had the women and men down in Arizona, and it's the 4th year for the NIT. It's called the NGI, and then I come up here to La Costa for the championship. So yeah, I think by next spring, but 2028 spring, I'll have 17 college tournaments.
That's fantastic.
At all levels, from D2, from D3, D2, D1, all levels. So yeah, it keeps me busy.
I bet
That's
you
fantastic.
I bet you coaches and players as well, because of the limitations of being the NCAA's, absolutely loved your concept to launch the NGI.
Yeah, I mean, it took a long time, because 10 years ago or so is when we first started talking about it, because there's so many college golf programs that put so much into their program. There's so many resources, but they don't get rewarded. I mean, if you don't win your conference championship, you do not get into the regional. So there's a lot of really good teams that invest. And so when I started researching, found out that the NCAA did not allow a postseason tournament, a second postseason tournament. We just kind of tabled it. And then all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 years ago, they voted on it, and they allowed it. I think it was college golf and college tennis was allowed to have a second tournament. So I jumped all over it. And now I got programs, like Rhode Island men. I mean, they're a really good golf program. They play in the Atlantic 10. Their head-to-head record the last 2 years is like 240 and 40. I mean, they're really good. And then Bowling Green women, same thing. They can't if they don't win their conference, they have nothing. So this gives them a championship, and that's the way they're viewing it. 2 years ago, I had Ohio State come to the championship after being a runner-up at the NCAA championship. And then Washington State was the first team out in the men's side. They came. So it kind of fits teams that just missed the regional, but it also fits teams, mid-major teams that are down a little bit further in the rankings that have to extend their season and keep playing. So it's really cool, and I'm just keeping at it and hoping to grow it every year.
Hey, Lance, do you come to Florida with any of the tournaments?
Let's see. I have my big Division III tournament up at Sandestin Golf and Beach Resort. We got 24 men's teams, 24 women's teams. I have had some tournaments out of Howey in the Hills, Mission Inn, but right now it's just up in Destin for the D3 event.
I know at Eckerd College you played a lot of your tournaments
back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For sure. So cool.
Hey, was Bill Butner, when he was coaching, was he asking all kinds of favors?
I don't remember. So he was fine.
Thank you, Lance.
Oh, come on,
Appreciate it.
man.
There you
Roll
go.
with me. Lance,
Yeah.
roll with me.
It was Jimmy Staubs and Chris Greenwood. There was a lot of trouble people in our conference.
Yeah. I always tell people, though, I mean, D2 and D3 golf, if I'm a Division I athletic director and I'm looking for a coach, I would look in that area, because those coaches do really well, and they do it with a lot less than what they have at the D1 level sometimes. There's some damn good golf coaches at that D3 and D2 level.
So just a question, Lance. I know in Division I sports all across the board, no matter what sport you're in, football, baseball, lacrosse, golf, there's a lot of changes, roster sizes right now going into this next year. I would like to know, how does that affect golf going into the 2026-27 season for golfers specifically?
Good question. I just was talking to someone just a minute ago up here on the range, or the putting green, about that a little bit. Golf isn't affected as much because the numbers are so much smaller. I mean,
True.
You have a tighter knit group. So if you only have 7 or 8 kids on your team, in reality, you might only lose 1 or 2 kids to the portal, because those kids are all getting to play. They're happy for the most part. The biggest thing it affects is probably a mid-major program where you have a kid that comes along and he's really good, and he's clearly good enough to play at a Power 4 school. And so he comes to that school for a year or two, and then he dips out because he can go play at a top 25 program. That's probably where it hurts the most. As far as NIL money and stuff goes, I mean, some of these kids are getting a lot of money from equipment manufacturers, whatnot. Like Rose Zhang, I mean, there's reports that Rose Zhang might have been getting close to $1 million, but that was all coming from the Nike or the Titleist, all the money that she was going to get when she turned pro. But as far as the school money, I mean, from the NILs or what used to be the collectives, I mean, if someone's getting 50 a year, 75 a year, that's enormous. I mean, most of these kids 10,000, 25,000, something like that. And that's not everybody. There's a lot of schools that do not have NIL for golf.
Hey, we just got done having a conversation. I don't know if your paths have ever crossed with Justin Sheehan. He's the Pelican Golf Club director. And he just had the AJGA TaylorMade Invitational there this past weekend. And I wondered what your thoughts were when you take a look at the incredible talent of these young guys.
Yeah.
And we were asking him, what college is this guy going to go to? And he said, a lot of these kids don't need to go to college. How do you counter that?
I'd like to understand why he said that. I mean, yeah, there are some kids that don't need to go to college, but I mean, college golf the last 10 years has proven to be the best mini tour in the world. I mean, why unless you can go and get access to the LPGA or the PGA Tour, why would you want to go troll around on the mini circuits, whatever that might be, when you can go to college and have everything paid for, all your travel's done for you. You have the best nutrition, the best strength and conditioning programs. Do that for a couple of years. Have fun with a team, because playing professional golf is a lonely deal, and it's a tiresome, and you can get defeated mentally really quick. So I don't agree with that.
Well, I thought also,
Lance, you absolutely nailed it, Lance. You absolutely nailed it. I'm old enough to know, coming from the age of the mini tours, the National Tournament Golfers Association, JC Goosey, Space Coast, and all that. Yeah. Bill's probably played on those Space Coast tour for a while. But what happens is that college golf is actually the best way to go to get yourself ready for the PGA Tour, because the mini tours nowadays, they're not existent. They're very little. It used to be you could go play Goosey Space Coast Tour, and half the PGA Tour had to play that before they went to tour school and got on. Right. And so I agree with you down that's something that a college golfer can do. But at the same time, I heard one of the college coaches talking about, that's great to develop as a college player, but yet it may not actually train you as a rugged individual to be ready to play by yourself now and support yourself and go on the tour. But you know what? I've been proved wrong the last couple of years, because everybody coming from PGA Tour University goes on there and they're competitive.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought I'm so sorry, Bill. No. I was trying to get that. So I thought that the PGA had made changes this year to make more of an entry and pathway into professional golf from college golf. Correct?
Yeah,
you know better than anyone.
Yeah, actually, not the last few years they've made the doors bigger. So there is the only I don't know if we want to get into the weeds on that. I mean, it's been great. I mean, I often said, think about college football and college basketball. The very best players, they knew they were going to be playing on an NFL roster and a basketball roster the next season. They were going to get drafted, they were going to get contracts, and they were going to get a play. Right. Well, you go back in college golf, and you go back, that never happened. I mean, you had a Tiger Woods, you got a Phil Mickelson, you got a Justin Leonard. Every other guy took years. They had to go through grueling Q schools, and over that period of time, they could burn out, they could lose their game. These college all-stars never made it. Well, now, why wouldn't you want your very best college player, who's a household name in the college golf world, the Emerald, not to be on the PGA Tour the next week after they graduate, just like NFL and NBA? So what the PGA Tour has done is created opportunity. But with everything like that, there comes unforeseen circumstances. And some of the problems with that is the kids. That's some of the most important thing to the kids now. So there's stories of kids going into their college coaches and saying, "Hey, we don't want to play in that tournament, coach, because it's too weak. We can't get enough PGA Tour people." So there's an unforeseen circumstance there. So I applaud the PGA Tour for creating a pathway for these guys to have that access, because it's ridiculous to think that the best players in college golf couldn't get, or the LPGA now couldn't get there for years. Now they can, except it has harmed college golf a bit. And so if you talk to coaches off the record, some of them hate it because they have to deal with it. Like, if you got a really good player that plays at, let's just say like a Florida Gulf Coast, well, they're probably not getting in big enough events for that kid to get enough points for him to get access towards the PGA Tour down the road. So what's he do? He goes in the portal and he goes to Auburn. Chris Goddard, did this from, Rutgers to Oklahoma. There's numerous cases of guys jumping, and mainly their main reason is to get PGA Tour U points.
I was going to say, I was just talking to our golf coach at Eckerd. There were 2,000 people in the portal, the women's side, that just opened up because the NCAA just finished.
2,000?
That's
2,000.
a lot
Wow.
of players hopping
That's
around.
a big
Again.
number. This morning it was like 150, and I haven't checked it since about 8 o'clock this morning. So
That's
they must have
crazy.
been crazy today.
And again, it's all the Clemsons and the Ohio States and I don't know what they're looking for because they've got great facilities. I was up at Chapel Hill looking at the facilities up there, and if you want something to develop your game, I mean, they have it. And that's just one of several schools that have got facilities that can really promote your game to the nth degree. So I don't know why they're jumping in the portal other than the fact that
Well, they just
they
Because
want
nobody's
change.
ever happy.
yeah, that's part of it. That's one thing. And then a lot of times, like they're just players who don't make the lineup, and they just want to go somewhere else. Think they can make the lineup.
Hey, Lance, let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about the men, and give us some predictions on your end.
Well, this week, this championship on the men's side is pretty much wide open. I don't know if I recall a year when there's not a clear-cut favorite. I mean, Auburn's good, Florida's good, obviously, Oklahoma State, but they're not heads and shoulders above everybody else like we've seen in the past year. So, this is going to be a pretty exciting week because, I always call it's a series of checkpoints. So you got to survive 54 holes to get yourself into the top 15, and then from there you got to get through the next checkpoint, get into the top 8. And then from there, you got to play match play. And you got to win 3 matches. So there's 3 more checkpoints. So it is a long, grueling week. You think about how much your mood and your body can change in 8 days. College football, NFL, NBA. It's just pretty much one game at a time like that. It's all one championship right here, 8 days, and a lot can happen. And it's just who knows. There's so many good teams. That this year, I don't know. I think you could probably make a case for like 12 different teams being able to win this.
Yeah, that's a great insight. I remember when I played college golf, woke up one morning and my coach asked me, "What'd you eat for breakfast?" I go, "I ate bacon." He goes, "Your fingers are all going to be puffed up. We're dead. You're going to play so badly today."
Yeah.
But imagine what goes through the minds these college coaches at Division I with the men. Imagine what they've got to do not only to herd everybody together.
Yeah.
But the training, the mental psychology, the equipment, the travel, it's
Such a
really
long
remarkable. These coaches, what they can do to be able to to keep herd on these college golfers.
Yeah, you talk about the Masters or the British Open or the PGA Players Championship. You're pretty much talking 4 days, let's say 6 days. And these guys don't play 18-hole practice rounds anymore. They'll play 9 on Tuesday, 9 on Wednesday. Some may, but for the most part, they're conserving their energy. College golf championship, you're talking a Thursday practice round. It takes about 6 hours. And then you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 5 days. And then you have 36-hole day for the semifinals, quarterfinals, and then the championship day. So you have 7 days and 8 rounds of golf to win an championship. You are exhausted.
Wow.
I asked Bill, what he thought of this grind, and I said, why are they doing it? And what was your answer?
Well, because that's the way it is.
You said TV.
TV, that's why.
Yeah.
This thing
But-
right behind me. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That right
I was
there.
going to say,
Hey,
that's what-
tell our audience where you're at.
I'm out here at La Costa. I can maybe.
I know.
They look the Omni La Costa Resort in San Diego for the NCAA championship.
Hey, that's where we could be up there doing the show live from there, boys and girls.
Yeah, right.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I thought you were afraid of heights. So, Lance, I, as always, I appreciate you taking time to join us.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime.
And I always like to switch gears and guys like you. We just got done talking to your buddy who reveres you, Adam Woodard. And I had to give him a bad. I thought he was going to disconnect the link. I had to give him a bad time about his Cleveland Cavaliers. I thought he was going to see a grown man weep again on the air.
Yeah, they got
was.
swept.
He was crying.
Swept. Yeah, I mean, badly. What about the alma mater, Iowa State? Talk about getting gutted by NIL and your coach leaving the football program.
Yeah.
And even the basketball. 43 players.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's just that's where we are, right? I can't imagine a day like this at the levels that we're seeing. It's insanity, right? I mean, you're hearing reports that Texas Tech football roster $60 million. Where's the ROI on that? And Duke basketball, $35 million. I mean, I don't understand it.
Well, like John said when we had a conversation earlier off air, the NCAA is chasing all these issues because they can't get on top of them,
right.
And they didn't have any kind of plan. And I'll tell you what, Kirk Herbstreit's one of the wisest in NCAA college football circles, and he said, you know what, this is the wild, wild west, and they're never going to get their arms around it. And what's your opinion there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they will get there. I feel like something's going to happen. I mean, because how can a school have $50 million every year to pay these kids every year? I mean, I just don't see it continuing. College football, basketball. Where does that money come from?
Where does the education come in too?
Well,
it does.
I don't even talk about that anymore.
That's non-existent.
When's the last time you heard of
around the bush.
When's the last time you heard of a kid being academically ineligible?
North Carolina, we did that.
Good point. Yeah.
Doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. Well, my friend, I certainly appreciate you taking time.
For sure.
Enjoy this rigorous week ahead of you, and next time you're down here in our neck of the woods, come on down. We'll buy you a bite to eat. And,
all right.
And we'll talk basketball.
There we go. All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right. That's Lance Ringler, and he does a superb job. Golf week, and he and Adam Woodard, our first guest. That's a good way to start out. We had the rookie start the show, and then we had the wise one wind things down in Lance Ringler. Well, I asked you, got any last moment conversation you want to throw in there?
No, I'm just happy to be here. I'm glad.
Nice and loud.
I'm glad Bill Butner is back. Bill Butner is back in my life.
That didn't sound very.
Wow.
That didn't sound very. I'm just glad to be here again.
Hey,
9-1.
I am.
9-1.
Listen, okay.
Here we go.
I am so
Okay.
damn happy that you guys are sitting by my side. The show went smooth. John Rager's up there looking good today, and my man, who I revere now.
Revere. Wow.
50.
That'll take.
Listen,
that'll take.
I started thinking about
makes
it.
the heart grow fonder.
15 years
of chasing that white ball.
All right, let's do a little promo for that big event you got going, John.
Okay, Florida Sports Hall of Fame, 9th Annual Celebrity Golf Classic, Port St. Lucie, Florida. On Friday night, we're going to announce our incoming class for next year.
You're going to be on Saturday, by the way.
Well, no, Friday night is August 14th. Friday night, Mid-Florida Event Center. That's where the museum's located. And then Saturday morning at PJ Golf Club, we're going to have our celebrities, our Hall of Famers, pair with everybody. We're going to have a golf tournament. So August 14th and 15th, Florida Sports Hall of Fame, Celebrity Golf Classic, the 9th annual. So with that, all you have to do is go visit FLASportsHOF.org, FLASportsHOF.org, and you'll find out all the information about it. And our good friend Barry Smith, he was the first celebrity to enter the tournament. So he's in there. He's going to bring his own team. We got to keep an eye on him because when he played last time, he had Charlie Breakiron on his team, and they won the tournament. So we're going to see who he brings this year.
That's when Charlie got that hole-in-one.
Exactly.
Well, Bill Butner, what was your greatest experience, make it short, in your last 6 weeks up there in North Carolina?
Wow, make it short. I was in a
you don't
sweater.
You don't have to disclose the woman's name.
And I was in a sweater, and I was in a sweater enjoying the cool air.
Yeah, we'd all like to be there. Adam, you missed the fact that we're going to be going up to Maine with you in August. You won't have to worry. We'll just get the equipment up there and work.
What about me?
I said we.
Oh,
as a team.
we are. Okay. I'm just
gotta-
making sure.
I got to
Just making
convince
sure.
Fred to write the check, and we're going to go up there and do On the
Let's
Tee
do it.
Florida
That would be awesome.
from some of his buddies' golf courses up there.
Let's do it.
You think that the lovely Miss Karen would give you the green light?
You know what? We could have a night in wine up in Maine. What do you think?
We can do that because we already have enough
We're ready.
ammunition.
Well, it's going to be a 9 and shipyard beer event. 9
I
and
like that.
shipyard
We can-
beer event
We
in
can
Maine.
shift the name.
Yes.
We've got the formula down. Bill
There
and
we
I.
go.
We got it.
Yes, you do. All right, just as a reminder, we're on YouTube channel. Give us a like, follow us, and everything
us.
we do on Instagram. We're expanding our content across all of our platforms, and looking forward to the future. So make sure you tune in to this same YouTube channel for the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection this Saturday live from Ferg Sports Bar and Grill, America's #1 sports bar as rated by USA Today. I'm Mike Rickard for John Rager, Bill Butner, the lovely Ashley Grimaldi, Lance Ringler, Adam Woodard, Wild Bill Sorrell, Justin Sheehan, Joe Bedreau on RadioSt.Pete.com. Where did I get
Are we
this
doing a
clown?
wave? Are we doing a
Video
wave?
producer Adam Fernandez
Had
and
to
our
wave.
superb interns Jake and Tristan. God bless you. God bless America. Have a championship weekend. And remember to hit them straight and keep it in the short grass.
Bye, John.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.